My name is Robin, and welcome to English Grammar Now. Today, we're going to be talking about the lesson on the. This is Articles Part 2. The is called our definite article, and we've already studied a and an, which are indefinite articles. You may remember that articles are words coming before nouns that help us explain which one we're talking about or what kind of thing we're talking about. So we use the if we're talking about nouns which are obviously part of the situation or context we are describing. We also use the if it's part of a sentence or phrase that was just mentioned. In other words, the is usually used to tell the reader or the listener that they know or will soon know what I'm talking about. This seems complicated, but let's look at a few examples. Here's some different ways that we commonly use the. In the first category, we use the if we're talking about something we just mentioned. For example, if I say, I met a man in the park yesterday. The man said he knew my mother. The first time I talk about this man, I say a, because the person I'm talking to hasn't heard about him before. But the second time I talk about him, I use the man, because I've just mentioned him. Another way we use the is for nouns that are really unique or maybe only one of a kind, like the president or the sun. There's only one of them, so it's usually very clear to the listener what I'm talking about. Another category is if we have a noun with a comparative or superlative adjective. We can see those in the examples here. It's the best restaurant in town. Could you give me the bigger one? Best and bigger are both adjectives. Usually, adjectives ending in est are superlative. It's the absolute best. And usually, adjectives ending in er are comparing, bigger. We could also say smaller. We use the in front of these kinds of adjectives. Another category is if we're talking about where something is. For example, the top of the tower, the end of the table, the left, the right. This is where you will often see the article the. Lastly, we often use the if we're talking about various kinds of transportation and entertainment, like the train, the cinema, and the gym. Now, there's a few more categories for us to cover, and these are just things that we have to remember because the rules can get a little complicated with the. When we're talking about country names, if there is some kind of political term, we use the at the beginning. For example, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the UK, the US. If you've already heard, UK means United Kingdom, and USA is United States of America. Those are political terms to describe the country. Another category is deserts and mountain ranges. Now, this isn't for just one mountain, but if we have a group of mountains, it's called a range, and we use the. So we might say the Gobi Desert, the Rocky Mountains. Another similar group is if we have a group of islands together, or an ocean, or a river. We use the for all of those. The Philippines, the Pacific, the Amazon. We also use the if we're talking about political entities. So, for example, the Conservative Party or the government. These are kind of unusual, and we do have to memorize them because the is used in a lot of different ways. You can compare here. For example, we would not say the Mount Everest because it's only one mountain, but a group of mountains, like the Himalayan mountains, needs the article. A country that has a name, like Ethiopia, doesn't need any article. But a country with a political term, like the Republic of Congo, needs the article. And if we're just describing something with a normal adjective, like a hot day, we can use the indefinite article a. But if we're using a comparative or superlative, we have to use the hottest day. Here's some sentences to help us compare. If I said, please open a window, it doesn't matter which one you open. There might be 3 of them, for example. You can choose any one. But if I say, please open the window, I have one in mind, and I think the listener knows which one I mean. Perhaps there's only one window. If I say, I got a car, it means the thing I got is part of a group of things called cars. But if I say, I locked the car, then I know, and the listener knows, which car I'm talking about. If I say, we're looking for a hotel, we're looking for any hotel. But if we say, the hotel was very nice, I'm talking about a specific hotel. We could say, can I ask a question? So we don't know the question yet at this point. But if I say, can you repeat the question? I'm referring to the question that was just mentioned. Hopefully this helps you to see the difference between using a and using the. When we talked about using a and the, we learned that you cannot use it with a plural noun. But the is different. You can use it with a plural noun. Here's some examples. All the teachers were at the meeting. I haven't seen the pictures of the baby yet. He had the boxes of paperwork in the basement. Here's something for you to try. In each of these sentences, see if you can figure out if it needs a, an, or the in each of the blanks. Go ahead, give it a try. Here's the answers for each of those blanks. Number 1, you look tired. You need a holiday. Number 2, welcome back. How was the holiday? You can see that these sentences are similar. The first one isn't specific. You could take any kind of holiday. But in the second sentence, we're talking about the holiday that was just taken. You and I both know what holiday we're talking about. Number 3, Corey is a hardworking person. Number 4, Corey is the most hardworking person I know. Now, most hardworking is superlative. Out of all the people, Corey is the top. So we will use the with most hardworking, but with hardworking. Number 5, don't let the dog out of the house. Number 6, I didn't know you had a dog. In number 5, we're talking about a specific dog, the one that both of us have seen in the house. But in number 6, we're talking about not knowing that you had something part of this category called dogs. Great job on that. One more thing we need to talk about is pronunciation. We learned that a and an connect with nouns that start with vowel sounds or consonant sounds. Luckily, the doesn't have any changes in spelling. However, it does have a small pronunciation change. See if you can hear the difference. First of all, with nouns beginning with a consonant sound. The back the question, the smartest. Now, with nouns that have a vowel sound at the beginning. The inside, the answer, the oldest. Can you hear the difference? Before a noun with a consonant sound, the sounds like the back, the question, the smartest. But if the noun has a vowel sound, the sounds like the inside, the answer, the oldest. This is something that makes it easier for us to say these words together. So you'll probably hear this when you listen. One more thing about the. In a few situations, we just don't use it. For example, if we talk about TV, we will say, he watches a lot of TV, with no article. If we're talking about meals, we also don't use an article. Join me for breakfast. What would you like for lunch? And if we're using next or last, we also don't use the. What is the plan for next week? He only arrived last month. So keep an eye out for these situations. One more practice activity for you. Each of these sentences has one or two articles missing. So it's up to you to choose, should it be a, an, or the, and where does it go in the sentence? Go ahead, give it a try. Here's the answers to those questions. For number 1, could you please turn off the light? Number 2, Canada is a big country. Number 3, I like this room, but I don't like the paint color. Number 4, she has a headache because of the loud music. Number 5, can you pass me the salt? These are pretty tricky to get right, but with more practice, I'm sure you can get it. Don't forget to practice how these are pronounced in the sentence. Thanks for studying articles with me. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye!